It's the time of the year when the trophy games begin to take center stage. Round one of those such games occurred Saturday night at Kinnick Stadium in Iowa City. The Badgers and the Iowa Hawkeyes playing for the Heartland Trophy. Playing for that, among other things, as we hit the final month of the Big Ten regular season. We'll check out some of the highlights from Saturday night's game. We'll sit down with linebacker Jake Cheney, a very integral part of this defense, very integral part of this team. And we'll have our weekly chat with head coach Luke Fickell. All of that coming up on this week's edition of the Badger Sports Report.
Three receivers left, one on the right. Walker is the running back. Lock the throw, Iowa rushing four. Braden fires, caught by Anthony, breaking left to the 40, to the 45-50, outside the numbers, 45-40, and tapped out of bounds by Castro. As Vinny Anthony had room to go, and he takes it to the Iowa 35-yard line. 4th down and 4 from the Iowa 14-yard line. Vinny Anthony wide to the left, back to throw, Locke. Shuffles to his right, fires to his right. C.J. Williams makes the catch. Touchdown, Wisconsin. Good throw, really nice grab by Williams in the front right corner of the end zone. And the Badgers are in for the first time tonight.
Set the standard. Set the standard. Let's go.
Ricardo Holman from one end of the yard to the other. Touchdown, Wisconsin, as the Badgers are back in the fight. Touchdown, Wisconsin. Jez Malusi, 89 yards. And it's picked off by Hunter Waller. There is a big, big win for the Wisconsin Badgers.
The Badger Sports Report is presented by UW Health. UW Health Sports Medicine, treating the Badgers, treating you. And is brought to you by Construction Business Group, Wisconsin operating engineers and respected contractors building Wisconsin together. And by Gruber Law Offices, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. One call, that's all.
This is a hallway. Doesn't evoke much feeling. But to those facing cancer or a complex condition, it feels like relief. Because all the doctors, treatments, and technology you've been fighting to find, they're all right here, under one roof, connected by hallways instead of highways. Welcome to East Park Medical Center. UW Health. Remarkable.
At Gruber Law Offices, we take great pride in helping those who have trusted us after a serious accident. Our team has the knowledge, resources, and experience to get you the results you deserve. Don't wait to get the help you need. Make the right call. Call Gruber Law Offices today, proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. One call, that's all.
Something big is happening at Hy-Vee. We've just lowered thousands and thousands of prices on thousands and thousands of items in every aisle and in every department. Online, too. And on many of your favorite products, we've even matched prices with some of the biggest discount stores in the country. Because we get it, times are still tough. So we'll continue to work hard to bring you new lower prices on thousands of items. Things are looking different at Hy-Vee. Come see for yourself.
Clear your path to a great career today. Climb to reach your career potential with no loans and no debt, so you can earn while you learn. A Wisconsin Operating Engineer's Apprenticeship is your opportunity to work outdoors and get heavy equipment experience. Partner with your employer for serious pay, great health and pension benefits. Acquire real-world experience while building Wisconsin together. To start your career journey, visit join139.com today.
When you can't establish some version of a run game and you can't stop the run game, I don't care what the hell else you do. You're not going to win on the road in this league, and you sure as hell ain't going to win here.
A lot of opportunities that were missed. A similar feeling, right? What sucks about this one is you go into a bye week and it sits for about a week, right? Next opportunity you get is Oregon 2 weeks from now, and we kind of just got to let it sit and manifest and kind of use it to fuel us, and that's hopefully what we do, and I know that's what we will do.
You know what, Coach Fick is very he's very true to himself. So, I mean, we're going to go out to practice on whatever day we have practice this upcoming week, and it's just going to be right back to work. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's not going to be any highs or lows. It's just going to be, he's going to be him. And all we got to do is go out there and go back to work. And it hurts a little bit more now that we don't have a game next week. So now we got to think about it and watch it and rewatch it and rewatch it. So yeah, this one hurts. And it's going to continue to hurt until we get into game prep for Oregon.
I mean, you have to find a way to go back to work and understand that there's still very important games left on the schedule. But it's hard to really get your mind there right now. Just walked out of the locker room from a day like that.
I mean, this is definitely a setback. We gotta find a way to move on from this and grow from this, and remember the feeling that we have walking off that field, and just keep pushing. And that's, at the end of the day, that's all you can do.
We believe in education. We believe in public schools. At WEA Member Benefits, we believe in helping Wisconsin public school employees and their families achieve their financial goals by providing personal insurance, retirement and investment, and financial planning programs that are designed specifically for the education community. Proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics, WEAbenefits.com.
Something big is happening at Hy-Vee. We've just lowered thousands and thousands of prices on thousands and thousands of items in every aisle and in every department. Online, too. And on many of your favorite products, we've even matched prices with some of the biggest discount stores in the country. Because we get it, times are still tough. So we'll continue to work hard to bring you new lower prices on thousands of items. Things are looking different at Hy-Vee. Come see for yourself.
Well, for a long time, Wisconsin has been known as a very good developmental program. Now, obviously, the college landscape has changed, but Wisconsin's still a very good developmental program. And with that, we bring in head coach Luke Fickell. Coach, we were talking with Brady Collins on your radio show here recently, and just going through some guys who he sees as making a big jump. And the first guy, I think you've done the same thing, is someone like Nysier Forkurine. Healthy in the offseason, but you're really seeing this guy who was pretty good last year. You're seeing an even better version this year, aren't you?
For sure. I mean, I think that the development of him physically over the past year has really, worked well, but it also has given him a lot of confidence too. And I think that's a part of those things that people don't realize. Like, yes, it's lifting. Yes, it's getting stronger. Yes, it's getting a little bit faster, but still the confidence that are built from doing those things and then going out and being able to perform a little bit better. You feel a lot better about yourself. And a lot of this game is about the confidence and your ability to be aggressive and your ability to play faster than maybe even the times say you are.
Yeah, another guy who seems to be doing that, and he's fast to begin with, but playing faster is Vinny Anthony. Now, he's a junior. He's playing more, and he's become a big part of this offense.
Yeah, I don't think he came off the field last week. He's a guy that, with that strength and with that ability that he's put in over the last 2.5 years, 3 years in the weight room, it's given him not just the strength to play better and the confidence to play better, but also the stamina to be able to be a guy that's out there every single rep, kick returning for you. Those kinds of things are what you really start to see down the second half or the last third of a season of those guys that are built in a way that way, both physically and mentally, they can perform.
This program through the years has really taken great pride in guys, be they in-state or out-of-state, who you're not sure, and then they really start to break through. And I think of a guy like Ben Barton, Wisconsin kid, Stratford kid. He was a really good basketball player in addition to a football player, but he's pursuing his first love, his true passion in football. I don't know what you thought originally, but, man, he's somebody you guys really count on that defensive line now.
I don't know that I would talk about what I thought originally because you're right. I mean, even when we walked in the door, he was still, maybe a guy in his fourth year, but was still developing because, he was a bigger guy that was getting stronger and getting more confidence in what he was doing. And he's to a point right now that, he's playing as well as anybody. And the consistency and all the things that we're asking him to do. And I don't want to lose sight of that. Those things are incredibly important for us to continue to build this program. And in some of the ways, that's what's going to fall by the wayside. Not that kids aren't still going to develop in college football. There's still 17, 18, 19-year-olds that have to develop. It's going to be interesting to see if they're developing at places like this, or if they're developing in the Big Ten, or they're developing someplace else and then entering them after 2 or 3 years of college ball.
Yeah, one of the things that I find encouraging from the outside looking in, I talked to Jake Cheney here recently, another guy who continues to develop. But I asked him about, the program, the makeup, the vibe, and he said he gives you guys as coaches a ton of credit because even the newer faces, not just freshmen, but transfers fit. They're guys who want to be coached, guys who want to develop. And I know there's a lot that goes into this now, but it seems like if you want to call it culture, whatever, it's something that's being built upon with the personalities and the want-to of these guys.
It's got to be intentional when you're recruiting. It's got to be intentional, especially when you're sometimes into that transfer portal where guys don't have as much time. And we've talked about it. You don't have a ton of time to evaluate them. You don't have a ton of time to get to know them. But there's some intentionality in the things that you're looking for. And it's not just height, weight, and speed. It's not just the ability to play football. It's how do they fit in all the things that we're going to do and this Badger brand that we have and the things that, that maybe you don't see in every single day, but really add up to a culture of development, regardless if they're 1 year or 5 years.
You were asked in your Monday news conference about, the development of some guys who have maybe played very little or not at all. And the ultimate answer, you don't know until they get out there. But I asked this a lot of years of coaches, especially with football. Guys who are primarily scout teamers. Now, we're in the month of November. It can be a grinder. They're barely and maybe not even seeing the field. You getting that intensity, as you would say, the competitive spirit every day out of these guys right now?
Yeah, and they're a group that if they don't realize this, maybe they should listen because they're being evaluated every week. They're being graded every week. They're being projected every week because you got to have ways of making sure these guys understand where they are and where they need to go to. And sometimes you can get a little bit lost in the scout team. Nobody's coaching you as much, nobody's giving you as much feedback, and that would be a mistake because no matter what, if you're going to be in this program for 1 year or you're going to be in there for 5 years, if you're not constantly growing, it's going to be a hard thing for you. It's going to be hard for us because that's what the culture wants and what we're feeding off of, and that's what we need.
I was thinking Barry Alvarez, from day one, he said, we want to recruit guys who like football. I'm going, well, don't they all? Well, maybe it's different levels. You find that out, right, with guys who maybe aren't going to be out there on Saturday, but Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, the guts of the practices, you get a lot out of those evaluations.
If there's not one thing that I would say that, amidst with all the other, things that we're looking for in recruiting, the passion and love for the game of football has got to supersede a lot of other things. And I mean that in a way that, like, the weight room and Coach Collins and what we've talked about in that development is a huge piece for us. And that's one of those things that coming in, if a guy doesn't love that area, man, I don't know if they're going to love the program. But that doesn't even supersede. If they have a passion and they love the game of football, they love to play when the ball goes down, I truly believe we can get them to fall in line and love all the other things that which we do in the program.
Yeah, you get the impression these guys truly love the game and everything that goes into it. We'll take a break. We have more to come as we continue with the Badger Sports Report.
At Gruber Law Offices, we take great pride in helping those who have trusted us after a serious accident. Our team has the knowledge, resources, and experience to get you the results you deserve. Don't wait to get the help you need. Make the right call. Call Gruber Law Offices today, proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. One call, that's all.
This is a hallway. Doesn't evoke much feeling. But to those facing cancer or a complex condition, it feels like relief. Because all the doctors, treatments, and technology you've been fighting to find, they're all right here, under one roof, connected by hallways instead of highways. Welcome to East Park Medical Center. UW Health. Remarkable.
Coaches talk a lot about leadership, and when they mean that, they're not talking about simply Saturday afternoons. They're talking about in the weight room, during the winter conditioning, spring ball, summer conditioning, so on and so forth. And one of the first players they mentioned this year is linebacker Jake Cheney. Mentioned it last year too, actually. As Jake joins us now, mention the leadership. That's something that you must take really seriously, because if it's Brady Collins, if it's Coach Fickell, they mention you right away, kind of leading the way in the conditioning in the winter. That's pretty important stuff to you, isn't it?
Yes, sir. I mean, from the day I got here, that's the biggest thing here, right? I think there's something special about Wisconsin where, it's not an industry, it's not a plant, right? I feel like this place will always be the same regardless of who's in it. You know, my freshman year had guys like Leo Chanel, Jack Sanborn, where they took me under their wing, right? You know, those are big-time players. Those are big-time guys. They're still playing till this day. And, you know, they didn't need to do something like that for me. They didn't need to do something like that for kids like Jake Rasloff or Brian Sanborn, right? You know, this is just a different type of love that comes with the W here. And, you know, now it's just my time to have that type of service to those young guys.
You mentioned guys like that with Leo and Jack specifically. I mean, the skill set is obvious, but there's more to it than that. What did you pick up from just watching those guys go about their business?
I mean, I think Jack and Leo were night and day players, right? They weren't the same on the field, right? They didn't play the same type of game. But when you look at somebody like Leo Chanel, he didn't need much to get going. He didn't need much. To be honest, he didn't need much film watching, right? You just throw him out on the field and let him do what he does, and you know that's how the way he played. But Jack, you know, he was a very fundamental, very smart, very instinctive guy where, you know, it felt like he just always knew what's going on, and he played a game that way. And you know, those are two very special guys, and you know, they just change your perspective of the game, right? You just love watching how they play. And, you know, I think that was very special for me and those guys in that room, being able to watch them by people like that.
So it's really a big deal for you to help the newcomers, be they transfers or freshmen. Now you're the guy passing along that advice, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you know, I think one thing about the transfers, you know, I think our coaches did a really good job of bringing in the right guys, bringing in the guys who are going to click and mesh. You know, I don't think there's been a time where we had a transfer guy who didn't mesh into the culture, who didn't fit into the locker room. And, you know, those guys are real easy to talk to, real easy to lead and real easy to follow because they always do the right thing. Man, like, shout out Jaheim Thomas, right? 5th year. He's older than me. And, you know, being able to play next to him, you know, I think a lot of people thought we were going to bump heads or clash, but, you know, that's my brother and I love him to death. And, you know, I'm happy I was able to have somebody like that in my life.
You answered my next question in part because the word culture is used a lot. What does that mean to you? If you're talking to someone, they're saying, describe the culture with Wisconsin football. How do you answer that?
There's a lot of things I want to say. Mm-hmm. I'll just say this: I'm not going to say faith, family, and football, but I think the biggest thing is family. Yeah. And you know, everything we do it together. And you know, a lot of people might not like us, a lot of people might not support us, but that doesn't matter. I think the biggest thing that matters to us is the locker room, and I think our culture is the locker room.
One of the things I've heard through the years here, what you guys will say before games and maybe before practices, we all we got, we all we need. That's real, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. That's how it always is.
For you, this a second year now with Coach Tressel, the defense. How is it different? You feel like you've settled in, like this defense has been playing some pretty good ball here of late. How much different is it schematically from what it was like before for you?
I think football is a universal game, right? Outside of like the 1980s offense, like outside of Army and a couple other guys, you know, football is very universal. Everybody runs the same thing, right? Coach Leonard's defense isn't that much different than Coach Tressel's defense, right? It's just maybe teach it a little certain ways, but you know it's all the same. But it's the understanding of why people are calling certain things, or the understanding of what type of situations we're in. And I think our defense is doing a great job of situational football. And you know we're finally playing together, and you know that's what it is on Saturday. That's what it was on versus Purdue. That's what it was versus Rutgers. And though I think those are two good teams where we were able to show what we could truly do if we got on the same page.
As much as you mentioned that the game is universal, as much as it maybe has changed in some ways from the 80s, it's in space now. It's still, I know Coach Fickell's talked about, this is still about physicality. That hasn't changed, right? And you're in the middle of it. Defenses are still built, I would imagine, inside out. So that part, that is the same, correct?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, you know, when Coach Fickell comes in and when Coach Longo comes in with the new air raid offense or the new spread offense, you're thinking practice is going to change. You're thinking that, you know, these are going to be less physical practices, or the runs aren't going to be as pounding as compared to our old offense. But I was wrong. You know, it's still about whoever's in the box has to fight. and who's ever in the box determines the game, how the game's going to go. You know, you're going to have your big plays from your receivers and your DBs here and there, but, you know, the game is still won up front.
Mm-hmm. And the game, as much as the league has changed from when you've arrived, you know, playing a league game at USC, and then you got Oregon coming here and all that. Kind of fun, isn't it? I mean, the Big Ten is always fun. It's always competitive and tough. But now, in some ways, I mean, it's different. But I would imagine you guys are enjoying.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, you know, you look at those games, right? It's not like we're changing conferences. It's not like we're only playing Pac-12 teams now. But it's like you finally get a true mix of football, right? Mm-hmm. You go over to USC, you go over to Washington, you go over to Oregon, and, you know, you're playing air raid spread offenses. But you're still in the Big Ten West in a sense where you just go play Rutgers and they're trying to pound the ball in your face, right? You go play Minnesota, you go play Iowa still. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a true football experience where you can't get that at much other places.
Yeah, well, we appreciate watching you do your thing, man. Congrats so far. Hopefully the best is yet to come.
Yes, sir.
All right, Jake Cheney, Badgers linebacker. We'll take a break. More to come as we continue with the Badgers Sports Report.
Clear your path to a great career today. Climb to reach your career potential with no loans and no debt, so you can earn while you learn. A Wisconsin Operating Engineer's Apprenticeship is your opportunity to work outdoors and get heavy equipment experience. Partner with your employer for serious pay, great health and pension benefits. Acquire real-world experience while building Wisconsin together. To start your career journey, visit join139.com today.
We believe in education. We believe in public schools. At WEA Member Benefits, we believe in helping Wisconsin public school employees and their families achieve their financial goals by providing personal insurance, retirement and investment, and financial planning programs that are designed specifically for the education community. Proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics, WEAbenefits.com.
The Badger Sports Report is presented by UW Health. UW Health Sports Medicine, treating the Badgers, treating you. And is brought to you by Construction Business Group, Wisconsin operating engineers and respected contractors, building Wisconsin together. And by Gruber Law Offices, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. One call, that's all.
Bob Liking of the Wisconsin Badgers. He's your four-time Big Ten champion. 22-47 for Liking. That's a Big Ten cross-country championships record.
Comes into the contest with a career 93 points. A quick shot, they score. Here's a 2-on-1 back the other way. Shot, they score again. Harmon Bray first to pick it up here is Kotlowski. To the left point, a quick shot through traffic, and they score. Beatty Wozniewicz all the way around to the slot. Pass to the right side. Here's a shot from Harvey. She scores.
Second set. Here's Caroline Crawford from zone 5 to the right back at Landfair. Scooped up front. Left side, Beeson, crossbody, Doug. Cece, high sit up. Left side, there's Franklin into the block, picked up by the Badgers. Again, Frank, left side, goes sharp cross court for the kill. Franklin fires it cross court, and the Badgers take a 6-5 lead. That is the fourth Badgers block of the match. Schumacher serves to Murray. Back row Beeson, there's another block. Caroline Crawford right there, and this crowd is fired up after the CC block. Here's Murray on the left side, pushes into the block, recycled by Nebraska. Center dump, Riley, pancake save, Gigi. Left side, here's Ojo winding up, save Rodriguez. Riley sets it up, miscommunication there with Beeson, backwards bump, free ball. Here comes Bucky, slide, Crawford, stop, covered. Wisconsin to the left, Ojo winds up, block touch, saved by Rodriguez. Now Riley sets it, the slide, poked over by Jackson. Gigi with another dig. Left side, Ojo pushes down the line, and it's in. Right sideline and in.
Notably, the Irish can make a change. Kukkonen, across it goes. Here's the shot, and the Badgers have scored. Owen Lindmark, the captain, has his second goal of the weekend. Gets it around for Dexheimer. Fitzgerald with space, shoots and hits the inside of the post. again, tipped in front, they score! Simon Tassi finally breaks through! We'll play it back to the line, it's 6-on-4. Kumlin across for Strand, here's the shot, Scarfoni the save, chip down to center.
Next week is a bye week for the Wisconsin football team, but there's a lot of basketball coming up. Opening week of the college basketball season, the Badgers will have 3 games to get ready for, so we'll talk hoops with head coach Greg Gard on next week's edition of the Badgers Sports Report. Thanks for watching.
This is a hallway. Doesn't evoke much feeling, but to those facing cancer or a complex condition, it feels like relief. Because all the doctors, treatments, and technology you've been fighting to find, they're all right here, under one roof, connected by hallways instead of highways. Welcome to East Park Medical Center. UW Health. Remarkable.
At Gruber Law Offices, we take great pride in helping those who have trusted us after a serious accident. Our team has the knowledge, resources, and experience to get you the results you deserve. Don't wait to get the help you need. Make the right call. Call Gruber Law Offices today, proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. One call, that's all.
Something big is happening at Hy-Vee. We've just lowered thousands and thousands of prices on thousands and thousands of items in every aisle and in every department. Online, too. And on many of your favorite products, we've even matched prices with some of the biggest discount stores in the country. Because we get it, times are still tough. So we'll continue to work hard to bring you new lower prices on thousands of items. Things are looking different at Hy-Vee. Come see for yourself.